Yes, prediction.
2022.
Are you ready? I was born ready.
Obviously, you're a little, aggravated by the line of questioning regarding Canelo.
I don't want to touch this, dirty, so bad, I don't want to touch his name.
I'm working on feeling the art of humbleness. Can you be with me? That's the reason why I'm crying, because I'm not that person no more. And I miss him. But sometimes I feel like a bitch. I don't want that person to come out, because when he comes out, hell is coming with him. And it's not funny at all. It must sound cool, like I'm a tough guy. It's just I hate that I'm scared.
It would be awesome to, being a great war. Maybe with a Mexican.
Let's go! Way pop!
I have to put the joke.
No, hey.
Thank you for playing, man. I appreciate it.
Good timing, man.
Can't put predictions, man, but I definitely don't want to leave it to the judges.
Eso, wepa! Estamos en vivo, ladies and gentlemen, in 2022. We're still LongLiveBoxing and Vivo podcast, como siempre. Manny Marrero.
Sean El Gringo Hicksa.
Hopper. We came in 2021 breaking should
Como debe de ser.
All right, so our man,
Manny just he's so excited he froze up. That's how excited he is.
It happens sometimes, man. But that's
Nice.
where we're at right now in the world of boxing, man. Things that we expect don't actually work out the way we like for them to work out. But it's all good, man. We got a lot of things we want to get into. We want to talk about first off, happy 2022, everybody.
Happy 2022, brothers, and everybody out there in the boxing community, in the boxing world, in the world in general. May all your wishes come true, man. That's just how we roll over here at LongLiveBoxing. Gonna keep grinding, gonna keep giving you the content that you deserve with the recaps and the interviews. And we got a lot stored for 2022. So keep it locked, keep it loaded.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So definitely will. And brothers coming out, technical difficulties all over the place, but it's all good, man.
That's how it goes sometimes, man. With damn technology, you just never know if it's gonna cooperate with you or not. So he'll jump back in a second, bring all his Puerto Rican love towards Canelo. Oh, look at that! 3 minutes in, I already talked about Canelo. New record.
That's a gift, brother. All right, let me try to bring him back in, see where we're at.
All right, I'm back.
Hey, Manny.
Hey.
I'm gonna blame the cold weather, the internet. It's freezing now here in Texas, Dallas.
All right, man. It's all good. So we got a stacked show. Glad to have you back, brother. So let's go ahead and get into it. I was doing my little mini complaint, half man, half disappointment, complaining about my thoughts on the PBC making everything a damn pay-per-view. And they start off 2022 with a pay-per-view, and you guys actually got a chance to check it out, so I'd love your thoughts on it. Hopper, what's your takeaway on Ortiz Martin?
Well, and here's the thing that where I want to start at, because remember our initial reaction when this fight card was announced and first came out? We bashed it. We trashed it. We're like, oh, a stupid-ass card. We're not going to pay no money for pay-per-view, blah, blah, blah. And so forth. We continue to hate on it.
Right.
And then fight night comes. What do? We ordered the damn pay-per-view because that's what we do. We're boxing fans. And so we ordered that shit, man. And hey, they suckered us in. Of course, we're going to watch. I actually enjoyed it. I mean, I enjoy boxing, any boxing. I think my brother Manny probably is going to have something different to say. But overall, I think the main event was pretty cool. King Kong, definitely entertaining. Got dropped twice. Got up, though, and stopped Charles Martin with that overhand left. Charles Martin kind of turned around too. Like once he got hit, it's like, oh shit. He kind of gave his back to King Kong, and the ref intervened. But it was a good fight. Also, I think probably the more exciting part was that Canelo was there. So I think that was pretty exciting, especially for me. I was happy to see that guy, see how he's doing. And they're showing love to his stablemate Frank Sanchez, who won a unanimous decision, 10 rounds over Christian Hammer. I thought he could have probably stepped on the gas a little more, sit on his punches a little more to try to get him out of there. But he was content with boxing the whole night. And I'm starting to think, Frank Sanchez is going to be a major player in the heavyweight division here this year, 2022.
Right.
Hopefully he I know there's a long line in the way the championships are going with Fury, Joshua, Usyk, and it's a whole mess right now, Dillian White. So he might not get his chance this year, but these other guys better be ready, man. Frank Sanchez is coming. I think he's going to be knocking at their doorsteps with the mandatory shot here sooner than later. And I'm excited for that.
No, definitely, man. It was, like you said, I always talk a big game and I don't want to see it, but then on fight night, I get sucked in, man, because I'm a boxing fan, a boxing head, and I always want to see the fights when they come through. And you had the heavyweights, you had the big boys going, and you're going to see some fireworks, and you definitely did. Here's my thing on Frank Sanchez, probably not as high on him as you were as far as that performance. I felt
I feel you.
Like, I don't know, maybe because he had a replacement. Hammer came in 4 days.
Trying to survive, too. He was
trying to survive, and he threw some haymakers. But the thing with Frank Sanchez, by him being so technically sound, so gifted, I think expectations said everything. Because you look and you want to see him just kind of go in there and dominate, sit on his punches.
Get him out of there.
Yeah, but he's throwing kind of one punch at a time.
Yeah, more footwork and...
Yeah, it's almost you could definitely see the amateur pedigree, but it's like he almost has an amateur style in the pros. Like he poses a lot and looks back on the shot.
That's true, Gringo, and it's unfortunate because he was coming off that great performance against F.A. Jegba. I thought that was a great performance. It opened up a lot of eyes. And he followed up.
That's what led him to this.
More of a lackluster performance yesterday.
Yeah, that's
dominated. I guess win today, look good tomorrow.
Yeah, that's what led to this co-main. Having him in the co-main event is because of the last fight and how well he performed. So shout out to that though.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Manny, kind of what's your thoughts on the card overall? Just as far as like what's your takeaway? You got sucked in, like we all do.
We got sucked into this, but 11 fights. 11
We're those
fights.
that clown.
11 fights, and there's no secret what the PBC is trying to do. Of course, besides trying to push, Luis King Khan Ortiz back into a contender status, which, by the way, that's a title elimination fight, which he's now entitled to, challenge. The champion. It's not going to happen. We don't know. I mean, he's not. He's up in age. And I think he can probably contend for the first 5-6 rounds against the elite level. We did see Luis King Khan beating Wilder, and he just got cut up, after the 6th round, I think it was. So I don't know if Luis Ortiz has that stamina to really, compete at that elite level past the 6, 7, 8 rounds. And we did see him, going down twice. He was able to recover. And he gave us at least excitement. For those of you that bought the pay-per-view, you were like, wow, okay, finally. You know what I mean? At least I'm seeing something. But no questions. I mean, 7 heavyweights. PBC is just trying to consolidate to see who they can continue to move on in the heavyweights. We did see some excitement. Definitely Cuba led the way with the main event and co-main event, which is like very good for them. And, we got to be excited about that. We got to be excited that, hey, there was starting fights. I don't agree with the pay-per-view. I think PBC is just really ruining the whole fact that, making people pay whatever amount of money for a card like this, whether it's 11, whether it's 12, whether it's 15, whether it's 40 cards in one night, it was not worth the $40. And there was people out there that I really wanted to see, that fight, Jonathan Rice against, Michael Coffey. I mean, honestly, what a disappointment in that fight. You know what I mean? And it was just one after another. I think the only good fight that I was able to see, Frank Martin against Romero Duna. Quick 4-round knockout for, the lightweight prospect, Frank Martin, the lightweight. Hey, you got someone else added into that mix. So there was I'm just sitting here trying to pick up bits and pieces to try to say, hey, this was not a bad card starting the year, but at the same time, was it worth the $40?
No.
It was not worth the $40. And I won't be surprised to hear maybe today, tomorrow, maybe Monday, it probably didn't make 20,000, 30,000 pay-per-views. So I think and they continue to complain that they're not making money, but look what they're putting together with not disrespecting the fighters. Don't get me wrong. These fighters, I mean, I think Luis deserved to lead this card, which was good. It was planned, but putting that in the pay-per-view, where you watching Lomachenko, you're watching all these other fighters on an ESPN for free, and now I'm sucked into the $40. I'm having a little hard time doing that.
Man,
after all the holidays,
man, I'm not. You know what, guys? I hate to disagree with you guys. You know I hate that.
No, I think you enjoy it very much.
I never disagree with you guys.
Really?
I'm gonna have to disagree with you guys, man. It was only
because Canelo was in attendance in that big
because
night. Is that what it is? So he's worth the $40 just to see him?
I will pay $40 just to see him ringside in silk pajamas. That was money well spent. No, I've spent $40 on stupider things, man. I'll go ahead and watch it. I'm a boxing aficionado. I enjoyed it, I guess. Maybe
we all got sucked in.
Maybe I'm a loser. I don't know.
No, you're definitely not a loser, man. But I'll go ahead and say, wow, this is, and I want to be like I'm, on the fence, but is it worth the $40? I was entertained, man. I paid more for less. I'll just put it out there as far as a boxing fan. As far as like the numbers they're going to do, they're not going to do well because obviously they got a lot of, challenges. They're going against the, free college football during bowl.
Yeah, and it's the bowl season. Which one was on last night? The Rose Bowl, I think.
Well, I mean, Baylor and Ole Miss, and that was a pretty, boring game and not a high scoring game. But the problem is that a lot of kids are and it was free, but a lot of kids are not playing because of COVID, or they're actually going to the NFL. So that didn't make it that interesting. But if let's say Alabama or someone else was to be playing at that night game,
it's over.
It's over. I mean,
no contest.
So yeah.
Yeah. So I was just gonna say that I see what they're doing. Obviously, as a boxing fan, I want to see fights. I want to see names, and I want to see them in good competitive fights. And I felt like I had that for the most part. I don't think the card was boring.
Yeah, I'm not gonna hate on it too bad. I'm not gonna bash it too bad. When it was announced, yes, we hated the crap of it. We talked trash about it, and then we ended up ordering it anyway. So,
but what else was to do last night besides trying to recover from the New Year's?
Exactly, from New Year's.
I mean? So what are you gonna do? We all knew we were gonna watch it, but the problem is that's the thing about the PBC. They're sucking us into these cards. We're gonna end up buying them, but is it really? Are we gonna?
$40 was fair. That's cool.
No, I mean $20 maybe. I mean, but hey. Listen, try to grab some attention otherwise. I mean, you're excited about your heavyweight guys that you're bringing on board. Are you trying to hype them up? Well, you get them ready. Get them ready. Some of these cards are going to do that, and then boom, get a bigger card later on, put them in there, and then charge a pay-per-view. What? The problem is they don't have anyone to stack them with. What? You're going to use the Charlos to stack them in and get those heavyweights underneath of them? I mean, everyone's getting tired of this stuff. So they're going to have to start finding some other PBC, stars. Man. Yeah, right. Other stars besides
don't get Gringo started on the PBC.
Danny Garcia, besides any of these other guys. They're going to have to find someone else that can lead these cards. And, I think that probably Ugas and Spence might be the one people are going to order. They're going to watch it. But that's where you need to start stacking these guys instead of separating them in different cards to try to make the most money out of it. And then you're complaining that you're not making money or the pay-per-views are completely trash. There you go. That's your answer, PBC.
All right. Yeah. Good stuff there. So yeah, again, all in all, I'm a sucker for love. I'm a sucker for boxing. I'm a sucker for a hot plate.
Cornbread.
Sucker.
And manicured toes.
Yeah, I'm not going there. But no, definitely it was an entertaining fight, man. King Kong Ortiz.
It was
he did his thing. Also, kind of a weird comment, but that's what I do. They were showing his kids way too much, man. That was kind of awkward. Like, every time that he got hit, which was the whole fight, they kept showing his kids crying. Like, my brother wasn't ready for that, man. They were kind of blowing my high, and I do not need that.
Just keep in mind, I mean, he wants payday. But I think it deserves that payday and that one more title shot. He's given a lot to the Cuban community. Hispanics are always very tight and close. They know This kid, their kids, they got to know, going inside the ring at the heavyweight, anything can happen. And then seeing his dad, falling apart in that first round, all of a sudden. But then, it's emotional for them. And
it was emotional for me, hell.
Yeah. I'm like, whoa, what happened here?
Yeah,
okay.
Man.
Are we shocking the world today? But it was funny. It was very interesting because look at what happened to Martin. He got hit and he was like completely out.
Man, he got knocked back in the 2000.
You look at the corners, like what's going on, and then he wrapped himself around on the ropes, and he was like completely like open to
he gave his back to him. He got popped, and then he just turned his back and said, "Oh my goodness!"
So do you agree that the corner was really upset because they stopped it? Or were you okay with the stoppage? I mean,
no, I'm okay with the stoppage, man. Right? He got rocked.
Right.
He got knocked back in time, man. He went through the space-time quantum.
He thought he was fighting Anthony Joshua at that point. Nah, bro, you're not in England. You're in.
Yeah. All right, let's get to these comments, and then, for the sake of time, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Shout out to Puerto Rican Rum. Salute, gentlemen. Puerto Rican Rum with the beautiful Latin American flags. Lion Killer podcast in the house. Respect D Style Boxing, the man, El Capitan of HCP.
Yes,
much
sir.
Clarence McLean, the hardest working man on social media boxing.
He's rocking right now.
Keep them lives going, bro. You're awesome.
Watching it
like 20 lives going right now.
I know, right? Every time live.
He's making breakfast. He's doing it big. And then, of course, G Funky Man, the black sheep. Man,
HCP in the house.
HCP in the house. All right, so we got Manny. His technical stuff is cleared away. He's mad as hell. He's ripping he's ripping inside because he wants to get something off his chest. Say what you chest, brother. So Manny, what's your thoughts? We got some Manny rant going on. What's going on, brother?
Listen, man, welterweights, the frustrating division of 2021, I'd say, now 2022. There are 6, I would say 8 big names. I'll take one away. He's been named a lot, but I'll say 7 big names right now at the welterweight. Yes, Ugas and Spence, it's like the best of the bunch. We're not seeing this fights, and we want to be able to see before it's too late. We want to be able to see who is actually the best 147 pounds, right? But here's the takeover. And Hobby, you probably can't agree with me. You got Ortiz, you got Enes, you got Ben Connor, and on top of that, Avanesian, he's also added into that mix. So can we see this young prospect going into contention, starting to get a little bit more hype to let those older guys, let those top champions, and I'm talking to you, Crawford, I'm talking to you, Spence, right? Yeah. These guys are coming along, and they're gonna absorb the majority of the media stuff. And I don't know, just because you guys have a title and you don't want to make this fights and you want to make it like a trash talking tweet, social media kind of shit. Answer the phone, sign the contract, do this, and that. Listen, the fans don't want to see that. The fans want to see and want to hear the fights being done. We got to go ahead and see Ugas and Spence. After that, I think the fans deserve to finally get this undisputed, championship on the line and get some of these prospects inside to that mix. If you guys not going to make that happen, give it to Virgil Crawford. Why don't you give it to Virgil? You've been saying a lot that he's not ready. He's not ready. Now he's going to have to fight someone else to see if he's ready on that. Come on, man. The kid is ready. You're probably not ready. You're probably not ready to come in, not even get close to Enes, not even get close to Virgil. Even Conor Benn. I think it's too soon for Conor Benn, but I think now the names are popping up, and I'm ready to see this new generation rather than the old people out there. Sorry, it's just frustrating. One of the best divisions after the heavyweights, and look what's happening right now. We have nothing. There's not a clear roadmap for us fans to say, listen, I'm going to invest a lot of money on this. Other than that, we're going to keep watching all this crap show. Lightweight, it's sucking up pretty much everything, which is fine, which is great. But the welterweights, so freaking disappointing.
Oh, nice.
Man, I love the passion, man. You really are unleashing out there.
2022, here we come.
Also, like one thing I want to add on there too, kind of piggybacking onto your comments there. I'm really kind of burnt out on the Spence Crawford fight. I mean, for one, I don't really get the whole fanboy thing about really being on that engaged to a fight that's probably never going to happen. If it does, it's definitely expired as far as fan interest. There's other fans, potential fights that are out there for 147, as you stated, these young guns that are coming up. I'm really looking forward to them way more. And I think that, I'm ready for that baton to be passed because they never had, made the fight that we wanted to see, and, I don't know if there's a script or if they're just playing games, but it's really kind of just soured me to the whole thing. And then from the standpoint of, Spence, he was in a horrible wreck where he could have lost his life. He's definitely not the same thing, a same fighter. He's completely different. I mean, he talks about, retirement because probably his mind is on retirement. He's looking for one payday, one cash out. And then as far as like he has the injury with his eye, so we don't know if he can even come back from that. A lot of fighters don't. So from my standpoint, for people constantly to recycle that same narrative about that fight and people ducking or not ducking, all I know is the two grown men involved and the fight just hasn't happened. And
why do they keep adding wood into the fire and just like hyping the fans up into something that is not realistic?
That's the game, Manny. That's the game.
But the game nowadays, people are not taking that. People are not biting that. Listen, right now, people were complaining to the fact that why Virgil needs to fight now.
In your face, gringo.
Michael Madison. Well, listen, Michael Madison, he's undefeated. But
what? Hey, don't go dissing Michael Madison. That's
I'm not.
I don't know who he is.
But I don't know who he is. But still, at least he's fighting, and at least he keeps staying active.
That's my boy.
That's your boy.
I don't know.
Is that your new boy? You have no idea who he is.
My favorite.
He's not Puerto Rican though. But what I'm saying is at least they keep these guys active and they keep us giving some excitement and getting them ready for that big fight. They're not stopping and waiting. Crawford's just parked. He is parked on a parking spot, which is like a spot where like you're gonna store your car there forever. He ain't moving anywhere else. He's just nitpicking.
No, and they're avoiding. No, they're avoiding Boots like the plague too. They're avoiding Boots. They're avoiding Virgil.
Oh,
yeah, so like, and I'm glad you said that too. Like, okay, so
it's the truth. They don't want no part of Boots.
I'll go ahead and say it.
I ain't trying to see Boots Ennis anytime soon.
Not at all, man. Like, another thing too that I've been kind of thinking for a while. So, after the fight, respect and props to him. After Terrence Crawford, he beat Sean Porter convincingly. He did stop him and he did win. And all props to him. He said 3 names that he wanted to fight. He said, Spence, Ugas, but then he said Keith Thurman. Now look, all right, so talk about giving somebody a pass. Could you imagine, let's just go ahead and say it, any fighter, let's just go ahead and say Canelo would call out and say that he wants a fighter that hasn't fought in over 2 years, going on 3 years. And what people would say, and people
want to rematch Danny Jacobs.
Yeah,
Danny Jacobs.
They're actually saying like that.
What? Canelo, you want to fight that guy?
That's a good fight. I mean, to me, that's hustling backwards. That's not a fight people want to see. So again, it's like, I get people being fans of both and really disappointed the fight didn't happen, but to say it's the fault of one or the other, it's the fault of both, and it's a fault for us having to deal with it.
I have a question. Sorry to interrupt you. We're gonna go. I have a question. So, do you think that Crawford's got this whole shit with Keith Thurman? Because when he was actually moving up, Keith Thurman was champion, and of course he was looking at them to him, and that's what interviews a couple of years ago said. Hey, I want to fight Keith Thurman. Do you think he's still stuck with that he wants to? Keith Thurman that kind of like ducked him, but now he wants to prove a statement because he was ducked before. Now Keith Thurman wants the spotlight again, and he wants I'm going to show you what you didn't do to me. You give me a chance. I'm going to give you a chance. Is that why he's still stuck to that shit?
I mean,
I think so.
I'm sure there's something psychologically that's kind of attached to it. Yeah, there's a lot of ego going on, but again,
give it back to you.
It's past. It's extremely expired. Like as far as any fan interest, like we're not even sure what Keith Thurman is when he returns. He's had so many injuries. He's pretty much semi-retired. Do you realize he's qualified? Not that he's going to go to the Hall of Fame before Manny Pacquiao would, because he's been so inactive.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I just don't get that. Mindset there, but whatever. I know a lot of fans are big supporters of him and he can walk on water, but I'm just saying it's got to go both ways. So if he can call out a fighter that's semi-retired and people are like, oh yeah, that would be a good fight. No, it's not a good fight. All right. And then the fact that people would say like, look, the dude's 34 years old. I don't care how talented he is. He needs to fight, these other guys that are out there, give a chance to these young lions. But, of course he doesn't, and they're going to make an excuse for him because for whatever reason, Terrence Crawford gets a pass. Like I've never seen anybody get a pass more than him. I'm not saying I don't respect what he's done. I'm just saying, like, you know, it goes both ways, you know. So anyway, enough on that. So
well said.
Thank you, sir. All right, let's get to these comments real quick, and then it's Hopper rant time. All right, so Stephen Ruiz says, "EnVivo, go Cowboys!" Black Denise Ward, Happy New Year!
Happy New Year,
right?
Denise.
Kano Local Sports in the house. Salute to the panel. Respect.
Congratulations, bro.
Very
Great
true,
stuff
Gringo.
out there.
Thank you very much. Let's go ahead and get that screenshot out there, DC.
Finally.
Yeah. All right.
Are you sure about that, these style? I mean,
all right. If Crawford gets a pass, who's the quarterback? Rant time. All right. So let's get to it. So, man, no one knows how to rant with his and say it with his chest like our brother Hopper. Hopper, what's up, brother?
Rant it.
All right, check it out, man. I'm gonna keep it calm, keep it civil about this. You know, boxing does a good enough job shooting itself in the foot. Why do we have to continuously put up with some of these? Well, I know why, but some of these judging decisions, man. We need to get that fixed. I'm not quite sure what is possible, but I'm talking about the whole overall scheme in judging. From the fact that the promoters can pretty much wine and dine judges the week of the fight, you know, invite them over to dinner, host them, get in their ear,
take them to Luby's,
give them a little Christmas bonus, you know, something like
Black
that.
Eyed Peas.
Imagine somebody in the NBA or the NFL whining and dining the refs before a big game or before the Super Bowl, before the playoffs or something. And it's ridiculous. Only boxing does that. That needs to stop. That just in terms of the optics of the whole situation. And also when it comes to fight night, how can we do this to where we get these atrocious ass cards? Maybe add 2 more judges viewing from home. You know, they can view from home. They don't necessarily have to be there at the fight. Keep the judges anonymous. I'm not sure. Something to where we're holding these guys accountable. If they turn in a really shitty ass card, hey, well, you need to explain what you saw. How did this card and hopefully your bank account is not attributed to the reason you turned in this scorecard. I'm just sick and tired of the judging, man. We boxing can't afford any more missteps right now. You know, it's in terms of popularity, there's just a lot to watch right now. There's just so much sports going on, and people's attention span is real short. They all kind of want the knockout, so the sweet science is not much appreciated. And when they do tune in to get turned off by a really horrible scorecard, man, that's just that doesn't sit well with me. So we need to come up with the plan, or boxing overall just needs to come up with a better solution in terms of getting these fights judged right, correctly, giving it to the winner. We've had a lot of shitty cards just these past few weeks, so a lot of them on the PBC side. Sorry, Gringo.
I'm fine with it.
So we've had quite a few.
He took the PBC big head out of his room.
Did you take? No, that's still there. That
is blasphemy, sir. It is being
Al Heyman is looking down at him right now.
Shout out PBC in the house.
Senor Heyman. No, but yeah, that's all. That's really all I want to talk about.
So could it be something that there's some additional because I think from home it'll be real difficult to judge it. I don't think we can get involved. The referee's got a lot of stuff to be paying attention. But can it be someone like a supervisor, like someone above, maybe 2 of them, like you said, one in one corner, one in the other one, that can overrule any different card, and they can go. I mean, it might take
something,
some time,
bro. Even that,
to get a decision because they're going to have to evaluate. But go do that. Yeah. You know, I mean, don't try to just go with what the first instincts of what they do, because I don't know what are some of the training and stuff they're doing behind the scenes, but I think they need to be clear a little bit more on how these guys are trained. I know how they do it in the NBA. I know how to do it in the NFL. How do they do it in boxing?
They
don't. That's the problem. And here's the thing, though, too, and also keep in mind, though, that the certain position that a judge sits, he'll see the fight differently, of course, than with the other judges. So maybe a fighter that's applying pressure and landing punches is not visible to the one judge, to the other judge. So I think that's probably the problem that we run into. That's why I suggested maybe having somebody at home, 2 people at home, like, hey, you 2 guys judge the fight officially. These 3 guys are in the ring. We have 5 people, 5 different sets of eyes watching this fight. I don't know, something, guy. I'm just throwing ideas out there.
The judge
needs to be it needs to really be taken under control, because it's just ridiculous sometimes that some of these scorecards that get turned in. Like Gringo always says, it feels like they filled them out a day before.
Yeah,
no, they definitely do, especially for some of those bigger cards with those big,
big names that the house fighters are going to win.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, on the plus side, we didn't see that happening with Cambosos. And we had a feeling that could have.
Yes, and then the reason that didn't happen was because the promoter had to go in there and basically steal the fight. Props to Eddie Hearn to actually, get the fair. Because we've said it before. I even brought it up to you guys when I asked you guys if Top Rank is a promoter, does Cambosos get the card? The nod. No. You guys stay quiet. You're like, oh shit. Probably not, right? So
yeah, I disconnected. I got scared when you asked me that.
You guys froze. You're like,
like a bitch. But no, to your point, this is what I would do, because I'm thinking here with my my Gringo Amazing hat. I would add a fourth judge, and the fourth judge would be upstairs, and they would watch on TV, because that way you can see all the views and not just have the one view. And I think that would kind of cut down on draws. And also, I would have this is not going to be very popular, and I respect our older supporters, but I think they need to have an age limit. Now, here's the thing: like when I say age limit
to judging,
right? And I think they need to go back. And it's not even trying to be funny, man, because like I know we talk to people that are in the sport that some of these people are just kind of like legacy and transition into judges, and they're just there for life.
So are you trying to take away Moretti out of there?
No, don't cancel Moretti. He needs to be like that. See how much money. How much money he made this year,
man.
That's all right.
They need to. I think they need to have a fourth judge, and also I say make it more engaging, man. Let's go ahead and take advantage of the new technology. You probably won't like this, but I say for draws, just to keep
fight another round.
Well, that'd be amazing. That would make my dreams come true.
Can you imagine tie? They're going back to 15 rounds.
Yeah. I'm saying do a fan poll.
That one too. Hey, that maybe that can be a part of the overall judging. Like it's a 30%.
But the problem is you're gonna have these fans who they think
fanboys.
And they're gonna root more instincts to like who they're rooting for.
Yeah,
and it's like,
you're
right.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna have. I'm gonna give an example. You're gonna have like my buddies, my Mexican people. They're gonna say, man, you know what? De La Hoya just whooped Trinidad. No way, man. They're gonna vote, and that didn't happen though. You know what I mean? We still anyway, I don't want to sing in 2022.
All right, man. Okay. That's a good one. All right,
just like
2022.
New year, new me. I'm a patient man now. I'm gonna change the. I'm gonna
let it go.
I'm just gonna
let it go.
Wow, he went there. All right. Let's get to these comments, and then we gotta get to the boxing awards and show how much we don't agree. So all right, here we go. So we got JC said, yo, back to you, sir.
Yo.
Much love. Yo. All right, so D-Style said the problem with judges is they're old, high blood pressure, and that sounds like me. And they're putting 20-year half naked ring
card girls. That's true.
Is that all they're looking at? They got a good view though.
All right, JC and Kano says they fight an extra round in the Dominican Republic.
Ooh,
I did not know that. All right, that's why we love the DR. All right, so let's get back to it. So let's talk about it. Let's get into our awards. So now with these awards that I have up, I'm going to show as far as like what I feel the awards are, and then Hopper and Man, you're going to give their thoughts on them. And this will kind of let you guys know that we don't see 100% eye to eye, but anything we say here, it's out of love. Okay, so here we go.
Yep.
Let me go ahead and put up the. All right, so you guys can see that visual for you guys. All right, end of the year, trainer of the year, Coach Javier Centeno. Shout out to you, Davie, Florida. Let me get that banner down. Second. All right, then we have KO of the year, Berchelt Valdez. Amazing. I can't see anybody not agreeing with that, but we do have Manny on the panel. All right, so we have Fight of the Year, Estrada versus Chocolatito 2. Amazing fight. They fought in Dallas. Prospect of the Year, Xander Zayas. What more can you say, man? Xander's the man. And a lot of activity, very busy. Eddie Hearn, Promoter of the Year. Upset of the Year, George Cambosos Jr. And then Fighter of the Year, Saul Canelo Alvarez. Now, with that being said, brothers, what's your thoughts? And we'll go to you, Hopper, because I know you're the most passionate about how much you hate my list. So, floor is yours, sir.
I don't necessarily hate it all. You know, I think we got a few of those right. Especially the fighter of the year. It's a no-brainer, but no, my trainer of the year. My trainer of the year, I'm gonna disagree. You know, shout out to Coach Centeno. He did a great job this year, but I mean, come on, guys. Eddie Renoso at this point is still easily by far the better trainer of the year. His stable is deep, the best in boxing. He's a brilliant boxing mind, savvy tactical in-ring adjustments. You can work a game plan with the best of them. Took Canelo down the harder road to undisputed, having to fight undefeated champions. A lot of his fighters did well in 2021. I mean, Frank Sanchez last night. Oh, well, his performance wasn't all that great, but there's a major player coming into the heavyweight division with Frank. I mean, he still got El Rey, Chris Arreola, Oscar Valdez. I mean, this stable's not really slowing down in 2022, and especially once Ryan Garcia gets his head in the game. Man, that's just it's gonna keep going. So my trainer of the year, it's still Eddie Reynoso. I don't think it's even close. My honorable mention is the advisor / coach is Ben Davidson. I think that guy needs a little more respect from all the boxing community. And I'm sure he's from what I've read about him, he's very look at me. But in terms of boxing, brilliant mind. He's a brilliant mind. And Ben Davidson, his work with Josh Taylor, resurrected Tyson Fury's career. So I think he's my honorable mention. My KO knockout of the year. Yes, it was. I was torn between Valdez, Alacran, and Chon Cepada over Josue, but I'm gonna have to go with the latter, with Chon Cepada and over Josue Vargas, just because of the significance of it. The talk of it kind of just made it a little sweeter. You know? It was poetic justice, and I think Chon over Josue. That's a hell of a knockout.
That's a good one though. I didn't expect that one, but yeah, I got
my fight of the year.
I liked it too.
Fight of the year. I'm gonna go with Fury Wilder 3! Exclamation mark to one of the rare trilogies we see nowadays. Both men went down, both men got back up, and then Wilder ended up going down later on in the fight. Shout out to both men. I mean, not much explanation needed here. Fury versus Wilder 3. Prospect of the year. Don't be mad at me, fellas. I know we love our boy Xander Sayas. You know,
love him.
We love him. He's my favorite, my true favorite Puerto Rican prospect.
What are you trying to
do? The prospect of the year for me, Jared Big Baby Anderson. I'm gonna have to show him some love. He fought 4 fights in 2021, won them all by knockout. His opponents were a combined record 60 wins, 4 losses, 2 draws. Man, that's some tough opponent right there that they're matching him up with. He's not your typical opponents for someone still young. He's only 22. So the next American heavyweight hopeful is there. He's fast. Watch out, Fury, AJ Usyk, and all the other heavyweights. Jared Big Baby Anderson, he's my prospect of the year. Promoter of the year, Canelo Promotion. Now I'm gonna give a shout out to Eddie Hearn, Papa Hearn, and his Matchroom. So I guess we do agree on that one, Gringo. Eddie Hearn, I think he genuinely tries to give boxing the best fights he can. I mean, he overpays for a lot of fights just to give the fans what they want to see, and
that's what we want.
He's a great guy, man. I've never have you guys maybe when we talked to him, did he come across as a douche or anything? No, he was real cool.
He says it like it is. Says it like it
is. That smile. I was like, hey, Mr.
Mel.
And he was like, man, yeah, what's up, man? You know, he talked and chopped it up he's talking to you like he's known me forever. So maybe that's why he's my promoter of the year. But
no, I know that a lot of people in the UK, and it's kind of funny. Like I think
hate him, right?
They're more critical than we are, but from me, I love, first of all, Saturday afternoon cards are the best.
Oh, I love those.
They are the best. So I'm a big fan of Eddie Hearn, and I love what he's doing. They did 44 shows this year, and they're looking to do over 50 next year. They've done a lot more shows in in the US as well, and overseas. And honestly, they've had a lot of upsets, and they're entertaining cards. So I mean, for me, pound for pound, I really do think he's definitely the man, and he's done a lot to help build not only his brand but for boxing. I see him as a positive. Honestly, much more of a positive than any of the other promoters. The other promoters are, to me, kind of an afterthought, but that's only my opinion. So good stuff there.
I agree. Yeah, that's definitely Eddie Hearn. What do you think, Manny? No.
You know, I mean, first of all, I want to.
Well, let me finish my other two fighters. The upset of the year, of course, that one's pretty much no brainer. Kambosos over Lopez. There were some other pretty good ones, honorable mentions, but. No, Kambosos got the job done. Whatever Teofimo got going on, that's his problem. Whatever excuse, it's at the end of the day, Kambosos won. So that's where we're gonna leave it at that. My fighter of the year, I tried really, really, really hard to give it to Josh Taylor. I wanted to give it to him. I've got so much respect and admiration for what he's accomplished, undisputed at 140 pounds by beating Jose Ramirez. The road he took to get undisputed. When he beat Regis last year, and Ivan Baranchak, he went through a difficult path, and I tried really hard to give it to Josh Taylor, but I just couldn't overlook what Canelo accomplished this year. And I don't want to come across as a Canelo lover, but I mean, the man too late, right? The man had a hell of a year, unified something that's very difficult to do. Actually, got a fight done with the PBC, like they let him fight. Canelo, which is crazy. The PBC doesn't think anybody else exists other than them. So Canelo, my fighter of the year. I don't think he'll fight as much as he did last year, but hopefully we get to see him at least twice this year. And then sigue echándole ganas, campeón.
Absolutely, man. Well said and great list. And it's all love there. To me, the only thing that I'll ask you, because I know you're huge sports fan, a fanatic, and love the NBA. Now, as far as for Eddie Renoso, just want to hear your thoughts on this. Do you feel like, is there any takeaway or luster from what he did because his stable is so talented? Like, do you feel like maybe, not trying to change your mind, because obviously, does it take anything away? Kind of like with Phil Jackson, right? He had Jordan, he had Kobe. Since he has such star power, talented fighters, do you think that kind of takes away from what he's doing as the developing coach?
I get what you're saying, but no, I don't think so, because if anything, it might be that should be more of a challenge, managing all the egos and trying to get them all to work on the same page, fighting his style, especially when you have someone like a Ryan Garcia, Andy Ruiz, Canelo. Man, you're talking about massive egos. I imagine them guys have behind the scenes, especially Pretty Boy Ryan. So I think it's probably that gives him more credit to being able to manage all those personalities and have them all in line.
No, good stuff there. And we definitely got a lot of comments in the chat, and then we'll get it to our brother Manny and what his awards go to before we close this bad boy out. So, man, a lot of good comments here. And, of course, the gringo is a slow reader. So,
kicking your butt again, huh? At least it's not the mute button.
All right, here we go. So, great list. D-Style, thank you very much. And he's talking about me, I know. All right, gotta love this show, Real Boxing Talk. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much again, man. List.
They're loving your list, Gringo.
Nah, it's probably not my list.
Hit the like button and subscribe.
Please help a brother out. We're some brothers.
Yeah, you can argue about that all day.
Can argue all day about. You really can, and then
that's really can. There's just so many.
There's just so many. I mean, honestly, this sounds kind of maybe
even the Fury Wilder one was consideration.
Even the Fury Wilder, because I had a little emotions on my.
That's how you feel.
But
Xander's the real deal. Absolutely, man.
Of course, love Xander.
I predict Valdez would KO Birch. You did?
Whoa. Nice. Whoa, in your face, Gringo. Are you doubting my boy G Funky?
I'm not doubting.
I believe you, G Funky.
No, but it's just the way I read it. I sounded like no, it's just how I read it. I would never doubt G Funky. Come on. All right, so Joe Lopez, 40 ounce, says Lomachenko deserves Trainer of the Year over Eddie Renoso. Hey, there you go.
I mean,
Hey,
respect it though.
JC says Eddie Hearn BNT1 on.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, it's everywhere. That's true.
This guy is, yeah.
He really does, man. Whatever he uses to keep him going, man, he's doing it and he's making it happen. Eddie Hearn is a good salesman for sure. Fury versus Wilder 3 was a good fight, but 2 one-sided in my opinion for fight of the year. I'd have to agree on that because I mean, in the beginning, and then it kind of was like, okay, it's just a matter of.
But when he dropped Fury, though, that was
it depends how you're defining yourself as fighter of the year. What are you looking to be? Are you looking to the excitement? Are you thinking the fact that how many nails did I bite myself?
Lara went over there and beat up Warrington. That was a hell of an upset.
Yeah, did his thing. Salute to LongLiveBoxing crew. Thank you very much. Yeah. All right, so Joe Lopez 40 outs. G Funky. Big for the drama outside of the ring. The fight was one-sided, absolutely. Taylor beat some really good fighters to become undisputed. He really did.
He really did.
Taylor would be a good choice.
If Taylor would have fought another time, defended his belt against somebody, I would have. Yeah, it would have been in my.
Well, he fought everyone, and he even beat the odds by beating Prograis. No one thought that he was going to beat him, and he did.
There was quite a few people that.
Jose Carlos Ramirez on his best. Come on, you have to.
Now on this,
not a fighter of the year for me, but I mean,
if you would have fought Prograis and Ramirez in the same year, that's
exactly
fighter of the year.
There you go.
Fighter of the year. So comment on D-Style and shout out to him. Usyk can be considered though too. Going back, people forget. Like I'll say us as well. You know, usually it never fails. Anytime that we all agree on who's gonna win, usually it goes the other way. But Usyk. What do you think about being considered, maybe not for you, but being at least considered for upset fight of the year over Joshua?
Upset of the year. Yeah, that's a strong honorable mention. That's one that I had in my list as well in terms of upset of the year. But just because of how loud Teofimo Lopez was, I guess, and how vocal he was and looking ahead.
You guys are taking my answer.
It was more of a humble pie being served towards Teofimo. I guess that's what was satisfying for a lot of fans, just watching them get a little bit of humble pie. I think in terms of
All right. So let's go ahead and they do got some comments, but let's go ahead and get to our brother Manny for right now.
Wow, y'all spit out all my shit. But anyway, it's still good, man. By the way, Gringo, thanks for leading the way in this, man, because that's a pretty damn good list. And I'm half and half right now, half with Hopper, half with you. But yeah, I do agree. Trainer of the year, that is Coach Javier Centeno. Listen, Eddie Renoso has done so many things in the sport boxing, and he will continue to do so. But keep in mind, man, he's up there. He's into that pedestal. I think we got to give a chance to some of these coaches that are starting to develop. They're very stable. And now you look at one of the biggest fights in history, like you talked about, Teofimo Lopez, supposedly undisputed, not undisputed. He's a unified lightweight champion. No one gave a chance because all the hype about Teofimo Lopez and his work ethic, what he's doing behind the scenes. I mean, I think it merits the fact that he's got to be the trainer of the year. No disrespect to, to Coach Reynoso. I think he's going to do great things. He's going to continue to build that stable. He's going to continue to build champions, and that is great. Javier Centeno is on track, and he's got a couple of good ones too as well. Knockout of the year, man. Knockout of the year. I'm gonna say I was debating either or, but because I'm putting this one as my fight of the year, I'm gonna say knockout of the year, Berchel versus Valdez. It was almost about the end of the round. And, a lot of people weren't giving even props to Valdez. And Valdez came in, he moved up to 130. He fought, and he became a world champion at the 130. And he did it on a very good fashion way, destroying El Alacran, which is like unbeatable at the 130 pounds. I have to give that to Berchel. Fight of the year. I agree with you. Estrada Chocolatito 2 was great. I was just very disappointed in the decision. I moved that away because, man, out of my 10 fingers, I made 7 of my nails just crushing it by watching Wilder and Fury. I mean, listen, it could have gone either way.
We agreed on that?
Yeah, if Wilder and Fury were fighting, it came to a point that I'm like, Wilder's got this. No, Fury's got this. No, Wilder. Yeah. And here comes Fury.
Yeah,
and it was like one of those.
I remember texting their fight like, oh my goodness.
Outside, here comes Fury. But Wilder doesn't give up. I mean, it was like that until Wilder ran out of gas. And still he was running out of gas. he was still taking punches. He was like, you're going to have to kill me here. So for me, my heart was pumped that night. And I think I'm going to give the fighter of the year, the fight of the year, I'm going to have to give it to Wilder and Fury. Prospect of the year, I totally agree. Sanders Sayas, you are absolutely right, Hopper. I get your point, but man, the charisma.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
All the fights he's done this year.
He's not mad at me.
Now he moves up to a different.
He's mad, brother.
I'm gonna tell Manny pick Jared Anderson.
It's gonna hunt you again. What you say? But anyway, he brings excitement, man. He moves up to the 154 pounds. He's exactly doing the same thing. His opponents are getting better and better and better. He will continue to get better. He's still
look at that.
Look at that baby face. He ain't got that baby face anymore. I'm talking about Sanders, not you, Hopper. You passed your prime. But he's going to continue to do great things in the sport of boxing.
Well,
and
there
he
goes
has
my self-esteem for 2022.
He has captures everyone's heart. It's just a different atmosphere. You've been there, Hopper. We've been there as well. When Sanders side just comes out, I mean, it's like.
It's exciting.
Yeah, I mean, just real quick, because I'm sure people are going to say that we just fanboyed on that one, but the amount of fights that he's done, and also the fact that he did switch weight classes within that. He went from 147 to 154, which he said he'll be campaigning with Coach Centeno. So excited to see about that. And I honestly saw a lot of improvement, from each fight. I know people have made the comments like the level of talent pretty much stayed the same. I disagree with that. I think that he definitely had increases in the talent he was facing. He just got that much better.
And I know that every boxing media out there talks about the same thing. Let him grow. Let them do. And I think that Top Rank knew and understood. That's why he was like the youngest signee for Top Rank's at 16 years old. They knew what they had in their hands. They knew how to really get him going without burning him. Behind the masterminded trainer, Javier Centeno, building up more champions to come, and he's got a lot more behind it. I mean, he's even getting some of the former NFL stars, Frank Gore. He's trying to get them into those skills and some of the things that he's going to be able to do a lot. So that's why I picked, Prospect of the Year, still Sander. Promoter of the Year, man, this guy, I love Papa Hearns, man. He's my dad. He's my father from another. You know what I mean? So anyway, he actually, I love the fact he's always thinking ahead of the game. And listen to me, I love this interview the other day because he says, Teofimo wants to come up to 140. I got an opponent for you. He's already thinking ahead. Montana Low, come get some of these things. I'll make that happen. Montana, I'll welcome you to the 140 pounds. And this is what the fight fans want. They want excitement ahead of the game. I got a roadmap. I got a plan. Come meet me, and I'll make it happen. I love it, right? Besides the other guys, we're bashing the PBCs. We're bashing all the other cards. And Eddie Hearn is making it happen through the zone with a very cheap 1-year subscription. You can see a load of their fights. So that is the promoter of the year for myself. Upset of the year, definitely got to give it to Cambosos. No one gave him a shot. He kept grinding 7 times. The fight was postponed. He kept grinding and he never pulled back, and he proved everyone wrong. Now everyone's saying, oh, he's too big for 135. He wants to move up to 140. He wasn't the same. I don't give a shit. That's not his business. He stayed there. He stayed committed. Who gives a crap that Camboso wanted to leave the highlight and, he lost. So, hey, take the loss, get out of there, and we'll see what happens with Mr. Teofimo at the 140. The fighter of the year, man. Mexicanos al grito de guerra. Come on, man. This guy gave us so much excitement in 2021. I'm excited that I was part of, one of the biggest fights in history against, in the Cowboy Stadium, Canelo against Saunders. That was a very good, top all of the fights that I witnessed in 2021. Canelo definitely has to be the fighter of the year. He did it in a year, undisputed at 168 pounds, and he will continue to do amazing things. No, I'm not a hater. I just love the fact that we have a king in boxing, and that is Saul Canelo El Chingón Alvarez. Oh. That's my list, bro.
All right, man.
Nice.
The passion, it's a good list,
it.
and I like you had some good stuff on there, and then some stuff that Hopper had put on there as well. So, no, but seriously, and that's the beauty of lists like this. You know, it's not like when I hear what somebody else has. I like hearing different perspectives, so I don't feel like, oh, it has to be what I say, my way or the highway. I like hearing different perspectives for sure. I do want to dig a little bit deeper on as far as Eddie Renoso and kind of what he's done. And I like you said the Bed Davison Hopper. Now, and again, this is not bashing, but I want to know the perspective and kind of get some thoughts on the chat as well. What's your thoughts on Eddie Renoso and how he handled the Oscar Valdez situation? Does that do you feel like he knows more, he knows less, he's getting too much blame for something that he can't control? Honestly, what's your thoughts on that situation?
I think he handles their in-the-ring skills. What they do behind closed doors, it falls on them. I don't think it should definitely always fall on the trainer as far as what the other guys are doing and you know, on their own time, on their own dime, I guess. The one knock I will say about Eddie Reynoso is that just recently, I think it was earlier this week, that he came out with an interview when they were talking about David Benavidez and why he deserves a Canelo fight or why he doesn't deserve a Canelo fight. And he was talking about his resume and so on and so forth and so forth. I myself personally thought that was kind of a weak move and made him look kind of I'm trying to keep this G-rated for our listeners. It kind of made him look weak. I'm just gonna say that. It made him look like a hoe. That's what I wanted to say. But yeah, you should. You know, I don't think you should have come out and said something like that, man. You know, it makes you look like a chump. Yeah, some things are better left unsaid or let the media say it or somebody else, not you. You're the trainer. You're supposed to say, "Oh, come, we're gonna fight whoever he wants to fight. We'll take him on." You know, he came up with all these excuses to why David Benavidez doesn't deserve the fight. I thought that was kind of weak. That's probably like the only knock sometimes. You know, hey, it's best to just keep your mouth shut, continue to do work, and let others like Hopper tell you why David Benavidez doesn't deserve the fight or not. Shit
man, keeping it real, keeping it 100. No, love the passion and love the insight. Absolutely. And before we get ready to close things out, so this is a great comment from our man, Puerto Rican Rom, always doing big things.
Carlos Caraballo. Yeah, that's the one that lost to the Filipino, right? The one that
Puerto Rican Caraballo, yeah.
All right, so
he will, man. That was a very tough fight. That was a very
hell of a fight.
I think he has a lot to learn.
Yeah, it's that chin, man.
He's got a lot to learn, man. But I think he will definitely bounce back. A loss does not define your career. Keep in mind.
Right, they just Top Rank just signed him that week.
Yeah, they did. They signed him. They signed him that week.
Bro.
He's been always high.
He lost.
But that's fine. It was a very good fight. It's just
a great fight.
He got knocked out.
Just when you thought Caraballo was coming on, he gets dropped.
Yeah, he was boxing great, but
and then those knockdowns.
Yeah,
man.
Speaking of scorecards, those scorecards were kind of funky too.
Yeah, they were crazy.
No, definitely.
But just to tap on something real quickly about Renoso that you mentioned. I mean, he's living his dream and he's on top of the world. And you know, I think that the fact that what happens outside the ring, it's not to his concern, although he does, you know, take ownership and charge of some of these guys that he's got in his camp, and he gets them to that level. And he has taught them not to really look at what they say outside the ring, other than, hey, let's work on what we can do inside the ring. That is like talk the talk, and they're walking the walk. And with Renoso, man, it's unbelievable. He is living the dream as one of the best trainers, you know, that we currently have right now in boxing. With all respect to you know, to all the other trainers. But I mean, Renoso, it's going to be in a different league in a couple of years. No,
definitely, man. So got another comment here from our brother, Kano Local Sports, doing big things, man. This one of my favorite people to listen to, honestly. Him and L-Dub on Thursdays doing.
So you're saying you're rooting for Polaco over Sanders? Is that?
No, I'm
Prospect.
No, I'm not.
Prospect. Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay. No, that's a good one too. Yeah.
All right. So, kind of just on that, as far as on the bigger scope, though, like we've been saying for years with our man Kano Local Sports, that we feel there's been a shift in a wave of talent that's been there, but you know, like a more Rosario, Supernova. I mean, we know the names, but do you feel like this was a good year for Puerto Rican boxing? Honestly, brother, like, do you feel like it was, or do you?
I mean, it's got a lot of emotions to it because we started. We of course you got Amanda Serrano, which is like what everyone's like holding on to. It's the best thing we have. You know, with the match with Kaylee Taylor, it's going to happen or not. It's going to be one of the biggest, you know, matches for women history in boxing. And then we started with two champions. Bimbito Mendez went down in Japan, but before that, you know, we have Bon Gonzalez who captured, you know, world title WBO 105 pounds. And with that, we still have two champions. Where are the rest of them? But the reality is we have prospect. There's a lot of things happening. Will Pedraza emerge as the next champion, number 193? We don't know yet. He's still got a fight. Was it Carlos Ramirez? And then come out. Then you got Supernova. And then you got, you know, Conor Locos guide out there.
He's losing against Ramirez.
Yeah.
Oh, I said that out loud, huh?
I know, right? And then you have also, oh my God, he just fought. I can't believe I blanked out his name.
Yeah, Katie Taylor, Serrano.
No, Puerto Rican.
No, that's what Cano said, right?
Yeah, Katie Taylor Serrano. But we have a couple of prospects. Of course, a lot of people were hoping in Josue Vargas, and I'm just glad that went that direction. But I think we're still holding to some of these prospects that are actually starting, and they're leading the way. And guys, right now, if you think about the face of Puerto Rican boxing right now, Serrano, and correct me if I'm wrong, Serrano, Sander Sayas, and then you got Berlanga. And now you got Polaco, you got Omar Rosario. You got all these other ones, even Capo Gonzalez, which he actually took a real huge defeat. I think he probably would come back as well.
I saw that.
I did. Which part? Oh, Berlanga?
On Berlanga. You rolled your eyes with Berlanga. What's up, man? You got a little...
I got some love for him, but I think he needs to learn a lot. He needs to quiet down a little bit.
I'll go ahead and say, since we're keeping it real, I don't think it's fair to Serrano and Xander to put Berlanga in the same breath with them.
With them two?
I don't view him the same way.
You don't?
No?
Do you? Okay, so Nestor Bravo would probably be a much better face right now. Or who do you think would be? Who do you think would be the face? Like when you think about prospects in Puerto Rico? Okay, Amanda Serrano is a different league. Okay, Xander. Who else?
That's pretty much all. And Serrano. Well, and if you think of you're talking Puerto Rican boxing, of course you got to bring up Serrano and then prospect Xander. Yeah.
But anyone other than prospect or contenders right now that you think they're out there that can carry the flag and say, wow, the face of them. I know they're trying to portray the face of Puerto Rico, Amanda, Sander, and Berlanga. That's what happened in Sander's fight. They all came in with him, which is great. Love it. They embrace this kid, and they're opening their arms. And Berlanga, I don't know. He could be huge. Who knows? Let's see what happens in the next fight. But at the same time, who else do you think that could start leading the way and carry the flag like the same thing they do in the Olympics?
Well, see,
carrying the flag and leading the way.
That kind of all depends on them, you know. Like, so I think as far as when you say face, like recognition, yeah, Berlanga is a face because, you know, Top Rank was really putting him out there, especially when he was on that streak because they were obsessed with it, especially Joe Tour. Like that guy loves
him. Excited over it.
But no, seriously, as far as face,
change his pants.
Whoa, hello.
Hey guys, doing?
Hey, what's up, Bo?
Hey, what's up, Riddick? Bo?
Hey, what's up, Bo? Welcome back, Riddick.
No, but I think that I don't view those other guys as far as like being the faces. Like you see them, you recognize they represent the whole. So I don't see Berlanga in that same. Just for me personally, like, so I think that anybody could step up and take the mantle. You never know. Brian Polaco, Omar Rosario.
I got a future champion here for you. I do.
Right, who?
And his name is. You're
about to make a name up?
No, I'm not about to make him. You know, he just fought, and he just became an Abo WBO. Collazo. El Pupilo Collazo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, he fought a great fight, and he's a real good kid. He's got a lot of power at the lower weights. So there's guys out there that you probably think, but when it comes to the main divisions, like what we're seeing, the lightweights, the junior welter, the welterweights, right now it's a work to be done for these guys. But I think there's a lot. I think 2022 it's going to continue to carve the path to see who is actually going to emerge as the next superstar when it comes to the Puerto Rican boxing. And we're waiting for it. We're excited. We can't wait for it.
We definitely are. Like, and that's another thing too. I don't want it to come across like, I'm not pulling for them. I'm pulling for all of them, and I want them to, reach their potential. So we can, have these great matchups and really, have these guys reach the highest of high. As far as what they could potentially do. It felt like 2021. It didn't have the same momentum to me as far as previous, the way the momentum was going from 2019 to 2020. I felt like it was going to be a boom.
But we
and it was
had
kind of like more.
We had none. 2019. Remember, we broke it down. We had no idea who was out there until we started to see some of these young kids. So, yes, it's been a slow year. Only one champion in 1 year. I get it, but at the same time, look how all of a sudden, out of 3 or 4 names. Which, by the way, McRoyo was actually in my top of my list at one point. Now we got about 10 good names that are still working, whether inside of Puerto Rico or outside of Puerto Rico, but they're still Puerto Rican. So it's still there's still a lot. There's still a lot to be done. And I think 2022 will be that year where we're going to start now narrowing it down to the 5, and then we'll start going to see champions. I don't think Sander will be a champion soon, but I think we're going to have maybe 1 or 2 more champions in 2022.
No, and that's kind of my main thing. So and also too, before we close this off, with me saying that, and not being a hater, my favorite card of the year, hands down, that wasn't pay-per-view.
Woo! Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Navarrete versus Tufo Diaz.
Yes.
Top to bottom, man. My favorite card. That was
the year.
Card of the year. And then my favorite pay-per-view card was, Wilder Fury 3 or Fury Wilder 3, however you want to say it. Yeah. But no, all in all, man, good stuff. So closing.
Hey, by the way, was the Puerto Rican card pay-per-view or was it free?
It was free. ESPN.
Hey,
you
listen,
were there, right?
Best free. Cards of
there,
overall top rank in ESPN, hands down. Thank you. Gave us a lot of action. And I tell you what, it was worth it.
Hey, no, totally. Good call, Puerto Rican Rum.
Bausa, Bausa, yes, Bausa. That's a good one. Yeah.
No, that was.
Just need to stay focused. You can't get into the hype. The kid is growing, and I hope he stays there.
But boxing needs a top Puerto Rican star.
It gets to their heads a little bit, and then you kind of slack a little bit.
So I can hate on him.
Oh, wow.
Hate on him. When is the next time the Puerto Rican is going to be by Mexican? Let's bring him on a show, Bausa, vente. How about the show?
All right, so closing thoughts, Hopper. So we close this bad boy out.
We them boys. What we hunting Cardinals today.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so that's a football reference for those that aren't football fans, but you guys are. So, all right, so Manny, any closing thoughts, man? Really enjoyed the show, and thank you guys all for tuning in. What you got for us, Manny?
Oye, muchas cosas vienen en el 2022, entrevistas, LongLiveBoxing, EnVivo podcast, siempre con ustedes. Gracias a todos por el apoyo, como una latina, americana, de todas partes, Filipinas, Europa, en donde quiera. Thank you so much for your love and for everything. Like I said, I expect big things from Puerto Rican boxing, but I expect big fights to be made coming up. And the king might be back. Who's the king? Loma. Vivo.
All right, no, good stuff there. So I just want to say thank you guys again for tuning in. Follow all the great content they have on the HCP network. We have a bunch of prospect interviews we're getting ready to do with the Boxing Showcase. They got their WBC tournament, which I know we give the WBC a lot of crap for good reason. Shout out to the Pride champion, Devin Haney. But they're doing a lot of good things as far as the youth, and they're helping them with this tournament. And we're excited about them. We're going to have a lot of those guys there and ladies as well. And also I'll be interviewing a lot of Coach Collinsworth, his fighters. He's out here in H-Town. His fighters got some things coming up, so we're excited about that. So be looking forward to that. Be making sure you're subscribed to the channel. And once again, I'm going to go ahead and close this thing out. And for that, we have our trailer of all these unbelievable HCP shows. You guys have a great weekend. Much love, respect, and be cool. Thank you.
Papa Hearn in the house. Viva!
It's Maestro A. It's Kenny T. I'm back in New York City after a weekend in Las Vegas.
We got Power Punchers episode 2, episode dos. Hit that like button as you come in.
Your boy Dave from the 408 coming to you all the way from my podcast studio in San Jose, Califas. You know what time it is. It's time for the shoot.
Everyone, welcome to Al Chile. We got my partners in crime, Run PMC and Nopal with us and visiting us for the first time. Al Chile means keeping it
style boxing. Thanks to those joining me live. Those that be joining me here on archive. I've been joined by the new co-host of ATP, Nancy, from the Boxing Republic.
It's my birthday, and then obviously, you know, Red says to me, you know, these are my girls. You have to make sure you do the interview for them. I said, you know what? Even though it's my birthday, we'll do it. No problem.
Oh, you're amazing.
So
appreciate
it.
Thank you so much.
All-star panel, the round table, number 58. Really good weekend.
Seguimos en vivo. We are live, ladies and gentlemen. Como siempre, Mari Marrero.
Sean El Gringo Hicksa.
Hopper.
Hey.
Always breaking it down like it is, like it should.
Welcome to the Ringside Reporters Show, where we talk about the latest boxing news. If it's related to boxing, we're going to talk about it right here. My name is Eric Lorta, and I'm here with my co-host, Joe Habib.